Salvete omnes. My name is Tim. I will be your Latin instructor for this class, and right now I'm recording a short video just to cover some things so we don't waste time during the class. And you just had your first Latin lesson. In Latin, to greet someone, we say salve, which literally means be healthy. But you'll notice that I actually said salvete. We say salvete when it's more than one person. If it's one person, we say salve. If it's more than one person, we say salvete. And omnes means all or everyone. So I said salvete omnes. So I greeted everyone, salvete. If I'm greeting one person, I would say salve. Okay. There's not much to say about me except that I've been studying Latin for, I don't remember how many years, maybe 5 years now. And what I want to tell you about is the method of instruction that we're going to use. We're going to use what is called the natural method, or I think that's the only way we call it, the natural method. We're going to treat Latin as we would treat any other language. In other words, we're going to learn it the same way you would learn a modern language. That means we're going to speak it. So, of course, in the beginning, we're going to be using mostly English to discuss things. But what we want to avoid is translation. We don't want to translate. We want to understand the language directly. Now, being in the Philippines, I imagine that most of you have Tagalog or some other Filipino dialect as your native language, your first native language, and then English as a second language. So I want you to think about English, even as I'm talking to you right now. When I'm speaking English, are you translating the English in your head into Tagalog in order to understand it? And I'm going to say no, because if you're doing that, then you don't understand what I'm saying. So I think you all understand what I'm saying in English, and that's because you're not translating. You hear the words and you understand them. So that's what we want to achieve in Latin, because otherwise we're just translating. And if that's what you want to do, you can use Google Translate or ChatGPT if you just want to translate or read someone else's translation. We want to actually know the language. So that's going to be our goal, and that's how we will proceed. Now, a little bit about pronunciation. There are two main pronunciations in use today for Latin. One is called classical or restored Latin pronunciation. This is a reconstructed version of what they believe the Romans, for example, would have sounded like. This is the most common in use, I think, but I actually use what is called ecclesiastical Latin, which is also the same as Italian Latin pronunciation. You can use either one. It doesn't matter to me. It's easy to understand. Once you understand Latin, you can understand both of them. But for me, I'll be using ecclesiastical Latin, and that's how I'll teach it. I'll make mention of some of the pronunciations and the differences as we go along. I can't go through every different pronunciation note at this point, but it's pretty easy. If you want to look up online, you can find notes on how to pronounce the different letters. It's pretty straightforward. One of the main things I guess you can note is that the vowels are pure. A, I, U, E, O. Filipinos in general won't have a problem with that because they generally pronounce their vowels pretty pure. Americans, on the other hand, we tend to diphthong a lot of things, so we do have some problems with that. But I think, in my experience, Filipinos will naturally pronounce the vowels pretty well. And we'll go through the notes on pronunciation as we read, as we go along. The final thing I wanted to note is that we had a much larger response rate than we were anticipating. we thought that this was going to be a much smaller group. So we'll have to play it by ear and see how things go. We have over 500 people have signed up, and there's no way I can effectively teach 500 people by myself. But we'll see how many people actually show up and how many participate, and we'll just go from there. But this is also it's a free class. We're not charging any money. If we get too many people who are seriously interested in it, we may have need to ask for some kind of a donation to the Collegium or something like that. But anyway, we'll see. As for now, I look forward to seeing you guys in class, and valete. So to say bye, we say vale if it's one person. If it's more than one, we say valete.